We've got barbecue back here. You're all invited. Welcome to the SloopCast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
All right, Jared. Doing all right. We're gonna answer some of our AskSloopCast questions here.
Kyle says no BS today.
No
Kyle
BS.
says no BS. We're going right to it.
We're getting right into it here. So,
all right, Kyle. What's the question? What am I answering? What are we answering?
Well, before that, if you want to have your question answered, you can hit up discord.thesloopcast.com. Participate in our Discord discussions here, and then you can start asking questions that we can answer on an upcoming episode. Again, that is discord.thesloopcast.com.
Always be plugging,
as Jared said. All right. First question here is from Gangland. He asks, who are your under the radar impact players on offense and defense?
Under the radar impact players. So like I'm the way I'm interpreting this is like who's going to emerge this year. Like who do we not currently know about who's going to emerge this year?
I got a name here for the offense, and it's hard on the offense because the only like real big impact. So when you think of impact, it's playmakers, not necessarily the offensive line, which maybe you can pick someone on the offensive line, but whenever I see impact players, it's usually somebody who makes plays, being able to run the ball, catch the ball, or whatever. It's hard to pick one for next year because the only ones that they're really losing is JSN,
who we didn't have anyway.
Really.
Well, and CJ
it was just
Stroud.
Really just, well, yeah, and CJ Stroud, but I'm going to go with a Sloop Cat favorite here that we didn't get to see last year. Yep, and
Zach beat you to it,
and Zach has said it, and that's Evan Pryor.
I think that's a fantastic answer. I'm going. Kyle said, "Well, you can't really pick an offensive lineman here." Fuck you. I'll do what I want. I'm gonna go Donovan Jackson. Donovan Jackson will be an anchor on this offensive line. Ohio State's losing 2 offensive tackles, their center. All you really have left are your guards. And even then, your 2 guards might not be playing guard next year. Jackson might move out the left tackle. It's possible. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. If he does, he'll kill it. If he stays at left guard, he'll kill it. I think he'll be, he's going to have to go from first year starter to leader real quick, but I think he can do it. And if the offensive line is going to find success, I think he's going to have to do it. It's not all on him, but he's playing a huge role.
Yep. And on defense here, there's definitely a lot of players you can pick from. Definitely losing quite a few players here, but I think I'll go with. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of him because of losing a lot of talent in the safeties here. I'll go out of win here and say Stokes, or not Stokes, Styles. I'm going to say Styles here as my impact
Stokes isn't a
for
bad
the defense.
Answer. I don't think Stokes is a bad answer. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Who we see like emerge on the defense this year, I think will be a second corner. We saw the corners.
Yeah, you're losing Brown and Johnson here, so you got Burke, Hancock, Brown, Turner, and then a couple of incoming freshmen too. Simpson, Hunt, and Matthews.
Right. And I think it'll be one of them. I think it'll be one of them. I don't know why, but part of me wants to say it's one of the freshmen. I think that might be the only like true Simpson. Hunt is so fast. Yeah. Yeah. And Matthews recently got his 5th star from On3. So Matthews can now call himself a 5-star. if not one of them, maybe I think Hancock potentially. I think that's where I'm looking. Whoever emerges as cornerback too, I think will be the emerging star on the defensive side. Kyle did mention Sonny Styles. And I sort of stopped saying that because Kyle said it, then either he didn't say it, then he did say it. But yeah, I think that's also like an undeniable. Sonny Styles is undeniable, just generally speaking.
Yep. All right. Z Spike says, what are your top 5 favorite plays this season?
Top 5 favorite plays this season? God, that's hard to say off the top of my head.
We just did an episode going over top plays that CJ Stroud did this last year. So I'm going to assume some of those might be in that top 5 there.
Yeah. I'm going to try and just limit it. I want to limit it is what I want to do. So I'm going to say, well, I almost want to try and call out some defensive plays. Were there 2 defensive touchdowns this year? I can think of 2 defensive touchdowns this year. One by Tommy Eichenberg against Iowa. The other one was JT Tuimoloau in his monster game that he had
against Penn State.
Yeah. So I would say those 2 plays deserve to be up there. God, just one of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s. Was there a third one, Spikes? What was the third touchdown? Maryland ? I don't remember a third defensive touchdown, but yep, there was one against Maryland. Okay. I can't remember that one. Anyway, best plays of the year. Those 2 come to mind. Yes, it was at the end of the game. But was that anyway, moving forward. Don't want to get too lost in the sauce here. I don't know, Kyle, I picked 2. Can you pick 2?
I'm trying to think because we like I said, we went over the top plays with CJ Stroud in our last episode here. So I'm thinking most of the things I'm thinking of is from CJ Stroud here. Yeah, I wish I came prepared for this one here.
Yeah. Sometimes we should read these ahead of time. It might be smart. Marvin Harrison Jr. just generally against Georgia, I think is a good call out. Might want to throw anyway. I don't know. This is too hard to do off the top of our heads. I quit. We got like 3 or 4. Let's move forward.
All right. Let's see. Nomad here says, will Ohio State top 50,000 at the spring game in terms of attendance?
So the boring answer is it depends on weather. Like, it's a spring game. If it's raining and 42, no. If it's sunny and 72, yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know how excited Ohio State fans will be for the next season. I think there's maybe some angst among in the fan base right now. I don't know, like the general vibe of casual Ohio State fans. Are they fake fans have angst? Some people, they're not fake fans. Some people are just more passionate than they are intelligent, I guess. They want to see the defense better. They will. Well, yeah, but you won't see that necessarily in the spring game. I think that there's a quarterback battle, so I think that will add to the intrigue. A lot of it will have to do with, like, is there still an active quarterback battle by the time you get to the spring game? Of course, the spring game means nothing. That's not the point. You have to understand, Columbus is a metro of nearly 3 million people. A high percentage of those people don't have the money to go to an Ohio State football game. Between the parking and the tickets and everything else, a lot of these people just don't have the money to. You go to a spring game, you pay $5. If you don't have the financial means to take you, your wife, and 2 or 3 kids, this is your opportunity to let them get in the horseshoe, for you to get in the horseshoe. And I think that's always a very, very important thing to keep in mind when it comes to the spring game. It was one of the very first Ohio State quote unquote game I ever went to was a spring game. It matters. It matters a lot. All right, Kyle, next question.
All right. Got one here from Buckeye Zach. Marvin, how special is Marvin Harrison Jr. and why is he a Heisman contender if on another Power 5 team?
That has nothing to do with anything. Act like being at Ohio State is a detriment to winning the Heisman is silly. As far as Marvin Harris, I mean, he's special. Just the last episode Kyle and I did was an episode celebrating CJ Stroud. And of course, so many of those passes were thrown to Marvin Harrison Jr. And like, he had circus catches that I had forgotten about because there were so many circus catches. And by the way, let's not even define him by the circus catches. He's also just like an amazing route runner. He has amazing length and he knows how to use it. Like, it's crazy to think of all of the great Ohio State wide receivers, both historically and recently, that he might be the best. Not being a media darling is a dud for the Heisman. Yeah, but he has a name. Heisman voters are stupid and he has a recognizable name. Never underestimate that.
All right. Another question from Buckeye Zach. The Super Bowl will be Cincinnati slapping around the Cowgirls for the first world championship, right? Well, they're I don't know if they're going to beat the 49ers here. They're currently losing.
Yeah, you gotta get that past that. And not only that, but like Cincinnati still needs to get Eagles past Kansas City. Like,
yes, that too.
Yeah.
All right, we got a few questions from Z Spikes here. It would help the new quarterback out if we can lean on the run game next season, especially early in games, to avoid the dreaded wide receiver screens. Will our OLine be able to handle that? And will Hartline factor that into his play calling and prep?
I mean, will the offensive line be sufficiently good next year? But we are not going to come up with an answer for that today. That's going to be the reoccurring thing that you're gonna get sick. If you're gonna listen to us all off season, you're gonna get sick of that question.
Yep.
We're gonna keep asking the question. That's the key. Ohio State's defense will be great next year. The best Ohio State defense you've seen since 2019. 2018, Tressel, no. But yeah, it'd be the best next year's Ohio State defense will be one of the best Ohio State defenses you've ever seen. It'll be tremendous. I will say that with my chest out. Kyle McCord, I have all the faith in the world. The wide receivers will be great. The running backs, if they're able to stay healthy this year, will be great. It's all up to the offensive line.
All right, 15th minute here. We're gonna mark that down. All right, next question here, Jared. With Proctor coming back next season, what does the secondary look like? Do we still start more safeties than corners? I think that should have been. Do we start more safeties than? Well, I guess, yeah. We'll leave it as that question. Do we start more safeties than corners?
Yeah. What's? I'm sorry, but what does that mean? Like, there's going to be 3 safeties on like per game, or are we talking like a rotational situation? Because like there's going to be 3 safeties and 2 corners start. Okay, per game. Yeah. No, it's this is Knowles' defense.
Yeah, we're going to see 3 safeties here.
And one of those safeties is kind of a linebacker, and one of those safeties is kind of a cornerback. And the defensive end is also, one of the defensive ends is also kind of a linebacker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get too caught up on the positions, honestly. Don't get too caught up on it. Jim Knowles is going to put his best guys out there. Yeah, I think yeah, it'll be fine. I don't get too caught up in all that.
All right. Typically, when we move on to a new starting quarterback, the red zone offense takes a hit until the new quarterback can get comfortable making the tight window pressure throws.
Yep.
The run game struggles in the red zone too. Will Hartline make it a year of the tight end, or are we looking at a bunch of red zone field goals this year? It's a great question. Great question. And the one thing that really hurt Ohio State this year was injuries. I mean, how many running backs has Ohio State gone through this year? And then looking at trying to convert back to a running back to help out as well too. Like, it's ridiculous how injury prone Ohio State was at the running back position here. Hopefully next year it'll get healthier and have more consistency with the running backs.
Right. But again, offensive line. We'll be talking about it all off season. If the offensive line can block better, if the offensive line can be great in the red zone, if the offensive line can be great in obvious running situations, that will obviously be huge all over the field, but especially in the red zone, especially with a young quarterback, because whoever the starting quarterback ends up being, and again, I'm going to assume it's McCord until it's not, he's not going to be as good as CJ Stroud, not right away. Anyway, it's amazing how many people were trying to bench CJ Stroud in September 2021. It was a lot of people.
Yeah. Too many people.
So when McCord isn't immediately as good as CJ Stroud in September of 2023, be a little bit patient. By the way, I do think he'll start better, simply because that was CJ Stroud's second year in the program. The first year was 2020, which barely counts as a season. Kyle McCord, on the other hand, will be entering his 3rd year at Ohio State, and that's obviously
will be fun.
He's not going to have as slow a start as CJ Stroud did.
All right. Next question here. Will we actually execute a successful fake punt next season?
Lord, I hope so.
Sure. All right, Nomad here has a question. Discuss possible draft round and likely destinations for each Ohio State player this year.
That's a whole episode, I think we'll do that, man.
Yeah, we'll do a whole episode with that, Nomad. So we'll mark that in. We'll do that in an upcoming episode.
Yeah, that's a whole. That's not. Yeah, that. I kind of don't want to do it till after the combine, if I'm being honest. I feel like so much shit changes after the combine.
Yep.
So we'll put that on the back burner for now.
All right. Last two questions we have here from Gangland. Who would be the biggest surprise on the offensive line?
The biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise. Yep.
I don't have any expectations for anyone other than Donovan Jackson and Matt Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Who would be the biggest surprise?
Montgomery sees the field.
That would be a huge surprise. Like, legitimately, that would be a huge surprise. I don't expect Luke Montgomery to play as a freshman, though.
Yes,
here you
that'd
have to
be
remember
my biggest surprise.
You have to remember with Luke Montgomery that he was flirting with like being a tight end as well. Which should probably tell you what you need to know about the weight he needs to put on if he wants to start for Ohio State. And you know, Coach Mick will get him bulked up.
Right.
What?
And the
whoever ends up the tackles, like I don't know who ends up being the tackles. I just don't know. We'll see.
Well, to answer your question, Gangland, I'd say the biggest surprise is if Montgomery or
that would be a huge surprise.
True freshman would be starting or playing meaningful minutes.
Yeah.
All right, and the last question here from Gangland. Fill in the blank here, Jared. I would be ecstatic if Ohio State landed blank recruit.
Would be ecstatic for. I mean, it's the quarterback. God, someone help me, please. The quarterback who they're talking to again. The Michigan.
Not Raiola.
No, not Raiola. Jaden Davis.
Yes.
Yeah, Jaden Davis out of. Why do I keep starting sentences that I don't know how to finish? Is that his name?
Yeah, Jaden Davis, who's out of Charlotte.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, Jaden Davis out of Charlotte. Not only is he an amazing quarterback that Ohio State had a really good recruiting relationship with before Raiola committed to Ohio State, Ohio State has already like rolled out the red carpet, says, hey, we wanted you too. Raiola's gone now. We still want you. He's going to visit Ohio State. Ohio State, I believe, will or has sent a trio of coaches out to see him. And all of this, the extra bonus is that you stop Michigan from getting him. Because if you go look at the crystal balls right now, there's 5 predictions. You want to guess where they are? All of them are sending him to Michigan. Now, all of these were put in. Well, no, that's not true.
During the season.
One of them wasn't. One of them wasn't. But all the other ones were put in when Raiola was still committed to Ohio State. The equation changed. So we'll see what happens. But it's a double win because not only are you getting a 5-star quarterback, but you're also preventing Michigan from getting a 5-star quarterback.
Yep. All right. That is all the questions here. Any other last questions before we wrap this episode up? I know it's a little bit shorter here, but I like to try to do more of these questions if possible here. But there's no other questions here, Jared. I think we can.
Gangland threw a couple in. Oh, no,
there?
you already got these.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyone in the live chat have an additional question they'd like to ask, or we can wrap this one up. I'll start doing plugs now in case anyone wants to start typing. If you want to join this rambunctious crew down here in the Discord chat, you can do that by going to discord.thesloopcast.com. If you want to listen live, like they're listening live, that does require a Patreon sponsorship from you to us. It's $3 a month. Like, I don't want to say it's nothing, but it's not much. It's $32 a year. It's like $32.50. You get a discount if you do all 12 months up front. It looks like Zach did ask another one. Well, sort of. So yeah, it's only $3 a month. And by the way, like, just if all the other stuff doesn't, you say, Jared, I don't care about the Discord server. I'm not going to join your Discord server. That's fine. Jared, I don't care about avoiding all of the Spreaker ads on the podcast feed. I don't even know how to set up the other podcast feed. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Okay. Jared, I'm not going to listen live. I don't want to join the Disc. Yeah, that's fine. Jared, I don't really need early access to episodes. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to. But you can also go to the Patreon just to help us out. Like, if we've given you a fair amount of entertainment over this past few months, if you plan on continuing to enjoy this entertainment for the past few months and you can afford it, like if you just got $32 to toss, we'd greatly appreciate it. That being said, if you're like struggling, don't give us your money. That's fine. we'll be fine. But maybe just give us a hand if you're able to. And if you're like, Jared, I'm just never going to donate money to you, that's fine. You can buy some t-shirts over at merch.thesloopcast.com, where we have podcast merch. Or if you prefer, you can just get some like general Ohio type merchandise. Doesn't look like it came from a podcast. It just says Columbus on it. You can get these at 7071.thesloopcast.com. Kyle, do you have anything in Kyle's corner? Ohio State basketball actually won a game?
They actually did win a game. Yes, they actually did win a game.
All right.
They needed that, and they need to find some wins here, because it's not getting easy. It's not getting easy here. Because coming games here. Well, by the time this is released, they have played Illinois, then they have Indiana this upcoming weekend, and then Wisconsin, then Michigan. Yeah, it's not going to get easy for them. So they got to get on a hot streak here.
Yeah, they really do. But any win in January for a Holtman squad is a good win, apparently. Yeah. One last question from Zach is, how hot is Noel's seat if the secondary is garbage?
It'll be warmer. It definitely would be warmer.
I think you'd look more to the safety and cornerback coaches before you go straight for Noel's in that scenario. But I don't think it would have to be real bad for Noel's job to be in question at the end of next year. It would have to have like regressed badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have to have regressed badly. Like a regression, Spike says. Yes, absolutely. All right. That's it, Kyle. That's the end of the show. I already asked you about Kyle's Corner. I already did some plugs. So I guess with all that being said, nope, I haven't said the band's name yet. We did MotherFolk on Monday. We're doing it again today. So yeah, they're a fantastic live band. You should go see them. So with all that being said, I will, once again, Kyle, I lost it. We haven't done 2 episodes back to back in a while, and my brain just turned off. I'm just letting you know that's what happened. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is MotherFolk.